Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome to this session above by the data protection team, or meet the data protection team. As you can see, we have the setup for people to join via video conference, as we are only two of us here in Argentina, although they have not yet joined, but I hope they will be able to. And again, this is above. It's not that I have a presentation. I can read a couple of things to start getting the feeling of what is this team's task and what is it about. But this is a very new team, and we want to start working in a way that's matching of what the project wants from us. So let's. I suggest to get started by reading the delegation, and here we can also introduce who we are, right? So at the beginning of this year, our former DPL, Andreas Tille, was contacted by the previous data protection team, and they were not motivated to keep doing this work. So we formed a new team. It was a weird thing because he sent a call, an open call, asking for people to join, and most people that answered were not Debian members. And the thing is, for this particular team and for any delegation, but for this particular, we do need the team to be completely consisting of Debian project members, of developers, right? So we are in alphabetical order. Aigar Mahinovs, who is based in Germany. Andrew Cater, who is based in the UK. Bart Martens, I think he's Dutch, right? Or I'm not sure. Emanuel Arias.
Hello.
Who's from La Rioja, Argentina. I am Gunnar Wolf from Mexico. Kiran Kunjumon from India, and Salvo Tomaselli from Italy. And what are we supposed to be doing? The thing is, throughout the 30 years that the Debian project has existed, we have a lot of personal identifying data. People who contribute to our project leave their names, leave their contact data in different places that we need to be aware of and to act on, right? So how we handle personal information is something the entire project needs to be aware of. This team provides a centralized point both for external and internal queries to ensure that Debian takes appropriate care when dealing with such information. So if somebody needs to contact Debian regarding the usage that's being given to their personal data, it's this team. And we should also give advice for project members whether a given use of data is correct or is not correct. For example, if somebody wants to do a study, I don't know, on the interaction on mail lists over the years or whatever, they can contact us to see whether what they're doing is correct or is a bad use of information. And of course, the delegation by the former DPL includes the request for all of the relevant teams to help us do what we have to, because if somebody says, I want my name to be removed from all of the interactions we have had, we have to ask the mailing list administrators, the bug tracking system administrators, even archive management or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, this is the delegation itself. Let me see. Oh, my connection broke, it seems. I'll go back to wireless. Yeah. see. So, like as a first step, as a first part of the like presentation on what this team is tasked with what we have to do, well, that's what I can present. I don't know, Emma, if you have anything to add to this?
No, not from my side.
Okay, so again, we may have some other team members joining. Other than that, you can see our beautiful camera is looking at you and looking at your faces and expecting your comments, your questions, your participation. So please tell us what makes you come to this BOF, what interests you of our team, what should we be doing? Yeah. We have had mics?
Yeah.
What kind of requests did you have to process so far?
So far, we have had a couple of requests of people to remove their names, mainly from bug tracking system reports and from mailing lists. We have had one issue asking for names to be removed from the package changelogs, but we decided that's not possible to do like in the stable releases or so, because it's all historic data we cannot alter.
Is it possible to disclose what was the reason for removing the names? Why people wanted to do that?
We don't have to know a reason. People just request us to remove the name. Some people, I mean, what would be reasons for that? It can be because somebody changed their identity, but it can also be because somebody changed their jobs and they don't want, I don't know, their profiles to be linked to free software projects, or because they don't like Debian anymore. It can happen as well. And I mean, as far as I understand, and that's part of what we want to settle and discuss and come to a conclusion, what is a valid reason for removing the name? If I am not mistaken, as long as we have a foot set on European soil as well, the GDPR only says that if you want your name to be disassociated from a project, you have the right to request it.
So we are legally bound to do it?
Yeah, there's the question then, and that's part of the discussion we have ongoing, whether we are bound to that, because we have European developers, and we have, say, Debian France is an European organization, but Debian is not itself registered as an European project. So I don't know. We have honored all requests without asking for reasons, as long as it's technically possible. We don't receive many requests, maybe once a month.
Yeah, maybe. Just once.
Mm-hmm.
Not too much.
Anyone else? How long does it take for this type of thing to process? What's the difficulties of doing it?
Well, we are drafting a way of working within the team, and this is not yet settled. But what we are agreeing to do is that out of the I think we're 7 or so 1, 2, 3, yeah, 7 members. So each month the idea is to have one member on call. So one person will be responsible for processing requests every month. And the idea is this person receives a request, suggests an answer to the team, then anybody on the team can answer to this way of action for 2 days, and after 2 days we answer to the requester and contact the relevant administrators. Usually we have got so far quite quick answers from the from the list master and the bug tracking system operation, but we depend on them doing that.
But then considering mailing lists, so like we can remove the names of the people from the mailing list archive, though there's a lot of mirrors.
Of course.
And then
Yep.
that's not actionable for us.
That's something we have answered to the people. We are removing your names from the resources we control. But there's a certain bit of what's called the Streisand effect. If somebody notices we are editing 20-year-old posts, they may find that the difference between a copy that's archived somewhere else and our copy. And that may amplify the removal of a name you don't want associated. So it's a possibility, but we have to take action. We have to remove the information for a person that doesn't want to be connected to a project in any case. So it's completely true what you say.
Oh, come on, it won't be a conversation between me and Gunnar. Somebody ask something.
Why are you here? What do you want to know about us? Leo.
Two questions. One, after you receive the request and you take action on the request, you keep a log of what you do, so it can be used to kind of made a workflow that you can follow every time you have a similar request?
I think we should not keep a log, because that's keeping that information for long. Maybe we could take such a log without the name of the person in question. We haven't done that, but then again we have processed like 4 or 5 requests so far, so it's not that much, and there's not so much
Use cases?
Different cases, yeah. We have received a couple of very similar requests.
And what do you do with a request to take the information from something that were public? That it was public. It is public. You doesn't have, you don't have the need to remove it because it's public, or you remove it.
I understand we have to remove it. I mean, if you tell me. And people often request it, according to title of GDPR, I request my information on this regards to be removed from your systems. It could even be, the personal privacy and data protection laws across the world even include often that information that's stored on a server that's not public. So in Mexico, we call that derechos ARCO, which includes the right to completely delete, to cancel any information I have on you.
Including public records?
Public and private, yes. But I don't know the details. The thing is, again, if the record is public, I can remove it from my server. But Debian has mirrors of all kinds of its information. So I cannot control what our mirrors, and many of those mirrors are public, are doing.
So let's say I ask for your team to remove my name from the BTS and the mailing list. Then you could remove my name from the headers so that I don't appear, but then I will appear in the content when people quote me, or maybe someone even say, hey, Thomas, whatever, whatever. And then you'd have to pass the whole thread or something. It would be very hard to do. How did you technically approach that? Will you remove all the bug entry, all the mail thread? Maybe you don't want to remove answers from others in the same thread or something.
What has happened so far in the bug tracking system, the bug tracking system administrators have redacted the names or the mails or like any matching strings or the phone numbers, which we have also received the requests. So they take a bug report and remove that information. On the mailing list, what the list masters have done is to remove the whole message. But yeah, of course, somebody may be, as you say, somebody may quote that and have the name there. But the requests are not as open. I mean, we have not received any request saying, oh, remove all mentions of Thomas. We ask them to give us a list of URLs they want us to act on. So, of individual messages.
But then a thread will have some entries removed,
Yes.
and then it doesn't make sense anymore when you read it.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
As a consequence.
it's better not to do it, but when you have to do it, then you have to do it. I don't know how, given that we are people from different countries here, does anybody know how the legal system is on this regard, on their jurisdictions, on their regions? Because, I mean, we are mostly following the GDPR because it's the most known law on privacy and personal data handling. But I know that at least for Latin America and as well for several places in the US, and I am sure that also for Asian countries, I mean, this is not a new issue anymore. So, and again, our project is a global project. I am not an European. So it would be good to know if we're harmonized with any other practices.
I'm not sure here. I asked the question about public record because I think I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that in Argentina the records that are public and you can't modify them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the ones that is a law, a decree from some government that has your name in it. You can remove it from it. So I believe that public records in Argentina are public and don't need to be changed, especially that they are legal ones.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have another regulation that you have the right to ask a private or a public database to tell if they have information about you, what information they have about you.
Yeah, that would be quite troublesome, I think, because we have a lot of information and searching for information is really impractical. But yeah, I think we are also in that same case in Mexico. And I guess that, again, laws are not made in isolation. I guess that it will be the same in other places.
Anyone wants the mic?
Or who wants to make a question without a mic, it's also valid.
Here.
So you're a relatively new team, and it was newly formed because of sustainability concerns. I'm wondering, did you manage to spend some time on recruiting and sustainability of the team so that what you mentioned at the beginning of the presentation doesn't happen again?
Emanuel el elocuente. Okay, yeah, well, thank you for the question. Well, as I said, Andreas called. I talked with Andreas before he made this call privately, and I did tell him that it's not such a good idea to do an open call as an emergency request for such a position. But well, I mean, we all do what we do on a best intention basis. We have not been able to meet as a team really for agreeing on principles or for agreeing on how we're going to work, because we are also all in different areas, places, whatever. So we are probably right now more listed people than active people. I do not think that we would be like facing problems out of needing more team members right now. But yeah, I guess I like. In this regard, I think I like very much this idea introduced by Andreas that all teams have to yearly be reappointed. Maybe not all, but most teams have to think every year whether they are still interested in each of the members in continuing to do this job, in order not to. What happened in the previous team is that one said, well, I'm off, and the other two said, yeah, I'm also off. And well, what we were told is that they didn't feel motivated to continue because sometimes they don't get answers from other teams. That's not my experience, but I cannot say they didn't lie. I mean, they were not motivated to continue. Okay, so but I think that having a delegation rechecked on a yearly basis will help not facing this situation again. Is somebody following the IRC channel for this room?
No, you don't have.
No,
Sorry, yes.
It is completely possible that, I mean, the team has a like somewhat narrow focus, and it is completely possible there's not much more to add to this. I mean, we don't have to sit for the 45 minutes. I am completely open to sitting here as long as possible, but as long as needed, but not as long as possible. Leo again and Jungmin.
Thank you. I understood that your team is working with a list, mailing list, and other infrastructures. But was there a data reduction request to the packages?
Mm-hmm.
in
Yes.
practice?
Yes, of course. I mean, packages have changelogs. Changelog have personal names. And yes, I don't remember the case, but I wouldn't be discussing the names anyway. But some person wanted to distance from to redact their names from changelogs. The thing is, I can redact your names from like the living version of the package, so what we have in unstable and testing. But we will not alter the historical packages. So what's already shipped in stable, even more so in historic releases, that we will not change, because it's not technically possible. We would have to alter many signatures that are not even possible right now.
How about the copyright files?
As what? Yeah. I mean, I think our consensus was that a stable release is sealed. We can alter for the future, but there was, I don't know if it was in our team or it was somewhere else. There was a request for somebody not wanting to be mentioned in the copyrights. But then what happens to the files you already put a license on? Those files are licensed, and we cannot just say they were licensed by somebody who we're not going to name because we don't want to name them. So again, it's a technical reason not to comply.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Leo, ¿tenías algo?
The few requested that you had, you already answered the person that requested with the solution, what you did, and was their reception good? They were satisfied with the result? They didn't say nothing?
Was there any response from them?
No, we don't have any
No.
reply.
So the last question that you saying, we did it what you asked.
Yeah, one of the people that have interacted with us followed through, but I think most only request and we never hear from them again.
Okay.
I really hope the answer is no, but I have to ask, when we're talking about legal and requests, did you ever get contacts with enforcement, with other authorities that were asking about a particular actions?
We have not had the opportunity to do so, or the requirement to do so.
Which tells me we're doing something right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, in the end, I think it has been, maybe you agree, it has been an easier task than what I expected. So far.
Yes. You're jinxing yourself.
Yes. And well, also keep in mind we are only 2 out of 7 here. I cannot say we all agree on everything. We have had a couple of discussions on how to interpret some things, but well, we will be slowly developing a better consensus on that. So I think it's fair to let you all be on your way. Thank you very much for attending this session.
Thank you.